Well, if you want to mash up this dance, they can't stop you. Do what you want. Go, 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 go. Do what you want. Go, 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 go. And if you feel like mash up your feel, show me what you can do. Show me the maddest thing you can do. Show me the crazy thing you can do. It's my people thing with us do. Why? Anything you can do. Show me the maddest thing you can do. Show me the maddest thing you can do. No, 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 no.
Hey yo, this is Super DJ Halo Ball.
It's always a better choice. My one and only station.
DBS Radio.
Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
In the headlines, Dominica and 3 other member states of CARICOM are on course to implement a full free movement of the nationals effective October 1, 2025. In the New Summer region, civil servants in St. Lucia will receive back-to-back December bonuses. Internationally, White House requests $58 million in security funding from Congress following Charlie Kirk's assassination. The details of these stories and more are coming up next.
It's in the feeling in our we talk. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are.
DBS News.
And welcome back. Special good evening to our listeners of Acoustic Worship Radio. First off, Dominica and 3 other member states of CARICOM are on course to implement a full free movement of the nationals effective October 1, 2025. National focal point for the CARICOM single market and economy in Dominica is Martin Walter.
In keeping with the CARICOM heads' decision taken at the 49th regular meeting of the Conference of CARICOM heads earlier this year, 4 CARICOM member states, namely Barbados, Belize, Dominica, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, are currently on track to implement full free movement among themselves from October 1st, 2025. It's important to note that by implementing the full free movement regime, these 4 countries have agreed to grant their nationals the right to enter, leave, and re-enter, move freely, reside, work, and remain indefinitely in the receiving member states without the need for a work or residency permit. Those nationals, the nationals of Barbados, Belize, Dominica, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, will also be able to access emergency and primary health care and public primary and secondary education within the means of that receiving member state.
Mr. Walter says the new initiative is a major step towards the full free movement of CARICOM nationals.
Prior to that, the movement of skilled nationals was governed by an approved and recognized list of 13 categories. And those categories were namely university graduates, media workers, sports persons, artists, musicians, nurses, teachers, holders of associate degrees, domestic workers, agricultural workers, artisans with CVQs, private security officers, and aviation personnel. And so those persons could move without the need for a work permit. But these are set group of persons. Dominica has and remains one of the very few member states that have formally approved and recognized all 13 categories of those skilled nationals. And those categories will apply to all the other member states outside of Belize, Barbados, Dominica, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Now, those other member states which are participating in the single market and economy will continue to operate free movement under those existing regimes, the skills, services, business establishment, and the general facilitation of travel. So among those 4 member states, there is going to be an exclusive allowance to move freely, to work and reside among themselves.
And that was a national focal point for the CARICOM Single Market and Economy in Dominica, Martin Walter. Manager of DBS Radio, Cecil Joseph, has called for the reintroduction of a reading initiative among the OECS and by extension the Caribbean. His comments came at the awards ceremony for the 2025 finalists of the DBS Radio Felix Henderson Ministry of Education National Reading Competition this morning. 2025 winner of the National Reading Competition, Kiara John from Cynical Primary School, along with the other finalists, were recognized for their outstanding performances in this year's competition.
We know that some time ago in the past that we had it in the OECS, the reading competition to the OECS. It's my hope that sometime, very near future, that the Ministry of Education can help in identifying other OECS ministries of education to see how best that we can start the process all over again to ensure we're not going to a competition. We're not into competing to see who has the best readers, but to really evaluate the progress of our children. Too many times we hear people criticize and not understanding the hurdles. But if we can make some kind of comparison between what I have and what you have, and how we can take from each other to develop, to see that we have a better Caribbean, a better OECS, I think Ministry of Education, I'll be at your doorstep knocking every time. I'll be at your doorstep knocking every time. So I want to say from the Minister of Education, to the Permanent Secretary of Education, to the senior officers of the Ministry of Education, to the floor employees of the Ministry of Education, DBS Radio will be at your door or at your doors just to ensure that we see another part of the reading competition in the OECS and maybe by extension in the Caribbean.
And that was manager of DBS Radio, Cecil Joseph. James Rodney, the marketing executive at DBS Radio, praised the achievements of all 10 finalists.
This competition has been about more than just reading to an audience perfectly. It's a testament to the hard work, passion, keen interest, dedication, confidence, and a sense of bravery that our young readers have poured into their journey through stories, news, and sports articles, and to a further extent, the knowledge and ideas that has brought them to this point. To all our participants, your efforts have made this competition a resounding success. You have shown us that the future is in excellent hands, hands that are turning pages, absorbing wisdom, and imagining new worlds with a youthful exuberance. Whether you are taking home a prize today or not, your passion for reading is your greatest reward. The courage it took to stand on a stage and share your voice is an achievement in itself, and you should all be incredibly proud.
And that was marketing executive at DBS Radio, James Rodney. The students awarded today are as follows: Kiara John, the winner of the competition; Amelia DeBond, first place; Kyra David, second place; Kaylee Paris, third place; and finalists Adeza John Baptist, Sanya Laville, Malik Smith, Amelia Roll, Emily Prevost, Jahid Walsh, and Jolon Gregoire receiving the Kiana Leah Barry Award. So that's the Kiana Leah Barry Award. Still in the national focus, the Chief Executive Officer of the International Airport Development Company, Samuel Johnson, says the facility is on course for completion in 2027. He says construction of the land-side facilities has begun.
The foundation works are on the way, with the foundation for the terminal, which is right behind me, progressing satisfactorily. The intent is for by this time next year to have all the landside facilities up, and that includes the terminal, the FBO, the hangar, the air traffic control tower, cargo facility, as well as the air rescue and firefighting facility. So you can see the layout has already been done. We're standing right now in the parking lot of the terminal, and folks would have probably heard repeatedly over time about notification for blasting going on at the terminal site. So this is the end result of that. This used to be like a mountain that was cut down and blasted down to the foundation level. That makes it possible to commence with the construction of the landside facilities. In addition to that, the major works on the runway and developing the runway platform for the runway strip is ongoing. We finished the 4 culverts that were under construction, and that facilitated the backfilling of the platform. And you can see the platform, about 65% of the platform is at that finished foundation level, on top of which the substructure and the asphalt will be placed for the runway. Right immediately in front of the terminal will be the apron, and there again you will see that piece has been done already. So all is progressing satisfactorily. We're still slightly ahead of schedule. God willing, we will keep it that way and are on track for 2027.
And that was the Chief Executive Officer of the Dominica International Airport Development Company, Samuel Johnson. Meantime, Managing Director of the National Bank of Dominica, Annette Lestrade, has described the International Airport project as a game changer for Dominica. She says the National Bank of Dominica is looking forward to introducing services at the International Airport.
It was truly inspiring and exciting to witness the tremendous progress being made on Dominica's International Airport. This project is really going to be a game changer for our nation. It will open new doors for connectivity, for tourism, and economic growth. The NBD, as Dominica's leading financial institution, is proud of what has been achieved so far and even more excited about what lies ahead. We see great opportunities to introduce some of our financial products and services. We think that we will be able to make banking easier and more accessible and convenient for travelers and businesses alike. And just as importantly, we are eager to support micro, small, and medium enterprises. Anyone who wishes to establish a presence in and around the airport space. By empowering local entrepreneurs, we ensure that the benefits of this landmark development reaches everyone and every community. NBD is committed to standing alongside our nation in this journey of growth and transformation.
And that was Managing Director of the National Bank of Dominica, Annette Lestrade. Dominica's Chief Scout Commissioner, David St. John, says scouting is needed more now than ever to help with the issues facing Dominican boys. John made the statement at the presentation of warrants ceremony to commissioners, the presentation of beads and certification of trainers at Goodall Parish Hall at the weekend.
The situation we are hearing for our young people, especially our men, they need us more than ever before. I will do whatever I can as the Chief Commissioner to work with you to bring the result we are looking for, to enhance our young men and women, but more so our men, because our male figure is becoming something else in this country. So we need to put a brakes on them and to see how we can better things in this country. Commissioners, I want to thank you especially today for taking up that responsibility as you have received your new appointment for the next 3 years. And I also want to thank the training team for accepting to be part of the training team to work with the commissioners to train our young men and women in this country. I want to say we have a strong executive led by President Timothy. We have a strong Commissioners' Council led by your humble servant, David St. John. We will do the best we can to bring some results in our young people in this country. We will continue to work with the Girl Guides Association jointly, not only as partners, but we are brothers and sisters in these two organizations. So we'll do whatever we can to work together to bring the growth and development of scouting in our country.
Mr. John says the elevation of 2 women from the Kalinago territory as commissioners is a historic occasion for the Dominica Scouts Association.
I want to tell you, in the history of scouting in Dominica, it is the first time we have 2 female young ladies from the Kalinago territory who will be serving as commissioners in this country. But I want to tell you thank you. It's a challenge for them in the Kalinago territory, Rest assured, you can count on the commissioner sitting next to you and myself. We will do whatever we can to give you all the support in the Kalinago territory. So once again, the Scout movement is making another history as we go through this ceremony this afternoon.
And that was the Chief Scout Commissioner Davidson John. CEO of Discover Dominica Authority and Director of Tourism Marva Williams has hailed Guadeloupe as an important neighbor and partner for Dominica's World Creole Music Festival. Discover Dominica Authority advanced its regional marketing efforts this week with a promotional activation campaign in Guadeloupe, highlighting both the island's tourism offerings and the upcoming World Creole Music Festival. The delegation, which represented Dominica in Guadeloupe, included Sobers Esprit, Deputy Chairman of the DDA, Board of Directors, Marva Williams, CEO of DDA and Director of Tourism, Leroy Charles, Cultural Ambassador, and Ayodele Andrew, Festivals and Events Manager of DDA.
Guadeloupe is a vital partner for Dominica, and this activation allows us to strengthen those cultural and the tourism connections. At the media cocktail, we were able to share the richness of Dominica, from our eco-adventures and historic sites to the warmth of our people and our Kalinago heritage. We also introduced the 25th edition of the World Creole Music Festival, or Jubilee Year, taking place October 24th to 26th. The response here has been very positive, and we are excited to welcome our Guadeloupean neighbors to experience both the Nature Island and this milestone celebration of Creole music and culture.
And that was the CEO of Discover Dominica Authority and the Director of Tourism, Marva Williams, taking us to the end of this evening's National Focus. Up next is news from the region and international.
It's in the feeling and how we talk. It's in the meaning and our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. 'Cause the rhythm of life is pumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep things flowing. Before we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrate and come let your rhythm flow.
DBS News.
And welcome back. Now news from the region. For the first time in St. Lucia's history, civil servants will receive back-to-back December bonuses. That's according to a Facebook post of the Office of the Prime Minister of St. Lucia. Civil servants will be paid $500 bonuses for December 2024 and another bonus confirmed for December 2025. The Facebook post further stated that this administration continues to recognize the dedication of public officers and place workers and families at the center of national priorities. Internationally, a Republican congressional aide said the White House has requested the amount of $58 million in additional aid for security funding for the executive and judicial branches following the assassination of Charlie Kirk. The aide added that the funding request is being actively processed in the context of a stopgap funding bill. Lawmakers are facing a looming end-of-month deadline to fund the government and stave off a shutdown, with House GOP leaders expected to move this week on a bill. This brings us to the end of this evening's news. Up next is sports. We've got
Covering the nation and beyond. DBS Sports Report.
Flow's prepaid customers can now unlock big bonus rewards like bonus data, prizes, and more every time you activate a 3-day prepaid plan or launcher. Activate a plan, then scratch to reveal your bonus data. Plus, get points for extra prizes. The more you activate, the more bonus data and prizes you can win. Get in on the big bonus rewards when you activate a prepaid plan. Dial *129# or visit topupflow.com to activate a plan today.
Well, good evening. I'm Gavin Richards with the DVS Evening Sports Report. Let's begin with track and field news. The Olympic gold medalist Thea Lafort-Gadson will go in search of a spot in the finals of the women's triple jump event at the World Championships in Japan, as that competition continues tomorrow. Well, the women's triple jump qualifiers are set for 6:40 tomorrow morning, Caribbean time. And Thea Lafort-Gadson is in a field of 18 jumpers looking to qualify for Thursday's finals. Well, the field also includes the world number 1, Leanis Perez Hernandez of Cuba, and the world number 2, Shamika Ricketts of Jamaica. Thea Lafort-Gadson is entering the competition ranked number 3 in the world. But she has a season's best of 14.62 meters, which she jumped at the Zurich Diamond League in August. And she also holds a national record at 15.02 meters, which she jumped on her way to a gold medal at the Olympics last year. So the automatic qualifying mark for the finals is 14.35 meters, or the best 12 jumpers. So Theala Forgatson will be looking to make at least 14.35 meters tomorrow as she looks to qualify for the finals, which will take place on Thursday. Meantime, earlier today, the national athlete Denik Luke ran 49.32 seconds to finish in 8th place in his heat in the men's 400-meter hurdle event. The 49.32 seconds was just a bit off his personal best and national record of 48.82 seconds. And Denik Luke just missed out on a spot in the semi-finals. The top 24 runners advanced, and Denik Luke finished 28th overall out of the 44 runners who took part in the competition. Of course, we also have another athlete who is at the World Championships in Japan. That's Trennis Hamilton, and she will be representing Dominica in the shot put event, and she will be doing so on a Saturday. But as it stands, it's Theala Forgatson on tomorrow morning at 20 to 7 tomorrow morning Caribbean time. And of course, Thea looking for a spot in the finals on Thursday. Let's move to some cricket news this evening. The West Indies under-19 team, well, they crashed to a heavy defeat as their youth ODI series with Sri Lanka came to an end a short while ago. Well, the West Indies and Sri Lanka, they were playing in the 7th youth ODI. The West Indies entered the match already for understandable 4-2 lead, but it was Sri Lanka ending the tournament on a strong note as they won by 130 runs via the Duckworth-Lewis method. The game was heavily impacted by the rain, and Sri Lanka, they made 180 for 5 in 26 overs. Israel Morton, he picked up 3 for 30 for the West Indies under-19 team. So the West Indies needed 181 for victory in 26 overs, while they were all out for 62. So that's the West Indies 62 all out in 14.2 overs. Joshua Dawn, the captain, he got 16. The West Indies, like we said, lost that game by 130 runs via the Duckworth-Lewis method. They, however, won the series 4-3, with the West Indies under-19 captain Joshua Dawn being named the player of the series. Let's move to football news this evening. Head coach of the national women's football team, Ronnie Gustav, says he's disappointed with Dominica's showing in their first match in the Windward Islands women's football tournament. Well, Dominica went down 2-0 to the host country St. Vincent last night. Gustav says that the team played a little too slow.
Yeah, I'm not pleased with the way we performed today. I expected better, but it's just the first game. We were too slow to the ball, and our passes wasn't precise to our players. We wasn't playing when we have the ball moving in space for the ball. We was like we were too stagnant within the game, and then our vision going forward, we was too slow at it as well. I think it's not that St. Vincent play exceptional football against us. It's not that they get the opportunity and they score the goals. Because our reaction was too slow, especially in defense.
Do you think that we played a little safe because were we not aggressive enough attacking the goal?
Yeah, we were aggressive again too, because we were not moving into space with the ball. When we have the ball, we have time and space to move it and we try to get rid of it too fast, and then certain players was holding the ball a bit too long. Right. So as a result of that, in transition from offense to defense, we were a bit too slow. Well, I think a glimpse of especially in the defense, in knocking from side to side, and also the goalkeeper Diamond had a terrific outcome this evening in the goal. Save us quite a bit, saving those goals again. So I feel it was two soft goals because of our reaction, because it was not positioned properly in defense. But that's the game. It's want to win, want to lose.
And that's the head coach of the national women's football team, Ronnie Gustav, speaking with the team media officer, Sheena Harry, last night. In the other game yesterday, where we saw St. Lucia beating Barbados 2-1. The tournament continues tomorrow. Dominica will be taking on St. Lucia at 5 o'clock, and then St. Vincent will battle Barbados at 7:30. Let's bring you some volleyball news now. Sunrise middle blocker Nesta James and R&D Academy outside hitter Kyron Phillip are the two newcomers to the senior men's national volleyball team as Dominica gets set to participate in the 2025 Eastern Caribbean Volleyball Association's men's Final Four tournament, which gets underway in Antigua this week. For the Dominica Amateur Volleyball Association, they named a 10-member squad on the weekend. Also making a return to the team is the veteran Ronald Joseph, who has not played with the senior men's national team in 8 years. Where the national team is being captained by Jan Flora. The rest of the team is Ronald Joseph, Mervyn Mingo, Nesta James, Jaden Robinson, Sidney John, Ethan Boland, Larry Antulok, Kyron Phillip, and Sharon Vidal. The national volleyball team is being coached by Itoma James, and the tournament, which also features Grenada, St. Lucia, and Antigua, will run from the 19th of September to the 21st. In some basketball news now, Zach Bastian continued to show why he is the front runner for the DABA Division 1 MVP as he put in another solid performance to help the Dr. Daru Prichlet Sports Club Falcons to a victory in Game 1 of the Division 1 finals against the West Coast Ballers. Well, Zach Bastian got 38 points. The Falcons took Game 1 in the best-of-5 match series, 81-69. Meshach Debole also added 13 points for the Falcons, while for the West Coast Ballers, we had Sharon Vidal with 16, Shaylon Vidal with 14, and Dean Vidal with 12 points. Well, the Falcons head coach Yannick Regis was pleased with the team in Game 1.
A good game all in all. We had some little mistakes, but I can't blame the guys too much. They played a good game, a defensive-oriented game, and it led to us scoring out of baskets in transition, and that's what we were looking for.
What are some of the areas you might probably want to address as you head to Game 2?
Well, turnovers, Gavin. Turnovers, my team is prone to turnovers, and we just had to try and limit those turnovers. The inclusion of Meshach back into the fold was a big help to us. One keeps playing his role as a leader on the team, but all in all, we play out too loose with the ball, and we need to tighten up those areas of our game if we look to win Game 2.
We didn't see that sort of big game from Kareem that we are accustomed of seeing. How do you plan on, getting him more involved offensively for Game 2?
Definitely. This game was maybe Kareem's lowest scoring game so far. Next game, we have to try and emphasize bringing the ball in the center. We have a huge size advantage. We need to take advantage of that size advantage, Gavin, and I think we're going to have a game plan, a couple of practices before Game 2, and maybe we can find the correct plays so that we can utilize Kareem.
Falcons head coach Yannick Regis. Well, the West Coast Ballers team captain Sharon Vidal says his team had too many errors.
We need to stay locked in when it comes to defense. Defense is the most important thing in the game. Because if you let them get out in transition, they are a young team, they are a running team, and they can control their pace. So once you let them get into transition, it's over for us.
You did a good job in keeping Kareem quiet tonight, but Zach and Meshach, had their way with you guys. So what sort of adjustments might you be looking at making for Game 2?
Stop the ball early. We can allow them to reach independent and then try to stop them and not be in proper position and get fouls, make it easier on the referee to blow calls on us. We have to make sure we stop them at the top, make sure they not be able to get in the paint. So just stop them early. That's just what we need to do.
Dean had a very big game for you guys, but had some foul trouble. What sort of impact do you think it had on you guys?
Well, he's one of our key players, and I like to say I'm very disappointed in his performance today because he did not give us quality minutes. He couldn't stay because he's in foul trouble. So the petty fouls, as I said, get into position quicker and just play solid defense.
Backing your guys to come back in the series?
Yeah, man. This one game is best out of 5. You gotta lose your head when you lose one game. That's just playoffs. That's finals. So we just need to stay focused and looking for the next game.
And that's the West Coast Ballers captain Sharon Vidal. So the Falcons, they're leading that 5-match series 1-0. We can also tell you that there was some action in the Premier League last weekend. We had the defending champions, the Detroit Blazers. They got past the Dr. Daru Prichlet Sports Club Falcons in an overtime thriller, winning that game 83-82. We had Sergei Joseph top scoring with 21 points, and Kerbin Nanton added 19 for the Blazers. And we also had Maxwell Birmingham getting 14 points as well for the Blazers team. JV Bellot scored 18 for the Falcons. In the other Premier League match last weekend, the Police, they suffered their 10th straight loss of the season. They went down to the Hilltop Services Prowlers 69-56. Thomas Felix had 17, and Josiah Modest and Samuel Kobe Bellot 14 points for the Prowlers, while for the Police, Patrick Bethelme had 30 points and Shyla Farrell had 17. So the Police losing 10 straight matches. They haven't won a game yet for the season. And, poor showing from the Police Sports Club so far. Let's hope Gary Benjamin and the rest of the law officers can put together a victory as we wrap up the series. And speaking of victories, there was a big victory for the Guyana Amazon Warriors last night as they got past the Barbados Royals by 64 runs to secure the second position in the Republic Bank CPL. Well, Guyana, as a result of that win, they will now take on the first-placed St. Lucia Kings in the qualifier tomorrow. And that should be the qualifier on Wednesday. Tomorrow, we will see the third-place Trinbago Knight Riders taking on the fourth-place Antigua and Barbuda Falcons in the Eliminator. That game is set for 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. And tomorrow morning, we'll hear from the respective captains of the Trinbago Knight Riders and the Antigua and Barbuda Falcons as they look ahead to that do-or-die game tomorrow evening. And, the Barbados women, that's the Barbados Royals women's team, they've made it 3 straight wins to start off the Republic Bank CPL, or that should be the Massey United Women's CPL. Of course, Barbados got past Guyana yesterday in a very interesting game. Barbados made 132 for 6 in their 20 overs, with Chanel Henry, the West Indies player, getting 46. And we had Shamari Athapathu getting 37. And Guyana, they got 129 for 8 in their 20 overs, with Amy Hunter getting 63. And Sherman Campbell, the West Indies player, 40. But Shamari Athapathu, she picked up 3 for 25 for the Royals. She helped them to that 3-run victory in a very tight encounter. So that will bring us to the end of the DBS Evening Sports Report. Remember, tomorrow morning, all eyes will be on what's going on in Japan as Thea Lafo Gadson will take to the track at 20 to 7 tomorrow morning as she looks to qualify for the finals of the World Athletics Triple Jump event. And Thea Lafo in a very strong field. And she will need to jump some 14.35 meters tomorrow morning to secure automatic spot in the finals on Thursday. So that's news and sports. You heard the news with Hassan Robinson. I brought you the sports on behalf of the entire news and sports department. Our links person, DJ Halo Boy, Gavin Richards saying good evening.
It's in the feeling and how we talk. It's in the meaning and our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. Cause the rhythm of life is pumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep things going. Before we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrating. Come let your rhythm flow.
DBS Radio gives you top quality service over any other for live streaming of funerals. Call us today at 448-3282.
Good evening and welcome to this evening's edition of the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. It is the 15th day of September 2025. We begin with this evening's edition of the DBS Radio death announcements on the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. We announce the death of Leonie Xavier Anselm, better known as Pli PT, age 58 of Grand Bay, who resided in Pichelin and later in Belleville-Chopin. She died on Tuesday, the 19th of August. She was the wife of Emmanuel Anselm. She was the mother of Sharon, Sherry, Sharayon, Sherilyn, and Shadira Anselm. She will also be remembered by her grandchildren, Jasha, Jershael and Niall Xavier, Aisha, Ethan, Amaya, and Amia Raphael, Ariana Henry, and Mercy Eugene. One great-grandson, Coyote Benjamin. 4 sisters, Pamela, Catherine, Emmeline, and Janine Xavier. Her brothers, Julian, Ralph, Thomas, Jean, Joseph, and Julian Xavier. Other relatives and friends, names too numerous to mention. The body of the late Leonie Xavier Anselm, better known as Pli